Here are 5 dog breeds you should never, ever get if you're a first-time dog owner or you're just a novice at owning dogs in the first place. Number 1 is the Boerboel. That's easy for me because I have one and I know what it takes to actually train one of these dogs and to maintain one of these dogs and how tough and challenging these breeds are. The South African Mastiff or the Boerboel are absolute natural-born protectors. I have never seen a breed ever with so much natural disposition to be protective, ever. You don't need to put any efforts into them becoming protective. They come that way. Honestly, that's why I got one. I've worked with them in the past. I said, hey, I want one for my family. They are big, they are strong, they are powerful, and they are stubborn. And in the wrong hands, they can end up very, very dangerous for the inexperienced because of their size, because of their protectiveness, and because of their power. You really should never get one of these dogs if you don't know what you're doing or you haven't had experience with big dogs or mastiffs in the past. Number 2, the Tibetan Mastiff. Now, I've worked with a couple of these, and one of them being Logan Paul's Tibetan Mastiff, and Logan loved this dog, but ultimately realized this breed is way too much to have in his very busy home. And like the Boerboel, Tibetans are naturally born protectors. They are big, they are aggressive, they are powerful breeds. They were literally born to be protective and to be scary and to say, do not come on this property. And that's what they're supposed to be doing, right? So when people get them and they put them into a normal home with, you know, living in the suburbs and the neighbors come over for cocktails or for a barbecue, your dog is literally thinking that they're under attack, much like my Boerboel. And if you don't have experience with such a big, powerful breed, look the other way. Again, they're big, they're beautiful, they're fluffy, they're impressive, but do not get one because you are not doing that dog any favors. It's kind of like going to the zoo. You don't want to bring home the tiger even though they're beautiful. Number 3, the Border Collie. Yes, one of the smartest dogs in the world, but also one of the busiest dogs in the world. These dogs are built for work, and if you aren't going to give this dog a full-time position on the farm, or in obedience, or in agility, or in rally, you're going to have a really tough time owning these dogs, or owning these breeds. If you don't have time, if you work 40 plus hours a week and you don't have somebody to come over, or you don't have time to train, it's going to be impossible. You're going to be very frustrated. Now, I like watching these dogs work, but I wouldn't own one because I simply don't have enough time to manage this type of dog. They're very busy, they are very intelligent, and they're constantly looking for a job. And if you don't have one, things will backfire pretty dang quick. Number 4, the Rottweiler. Again, another big, strong, protective breed. You're probably starting to catch on to a similarity with all these breeds that I'm mentioning. Big, strong, protective breeds. Don't go out and buy a big, strong, protective breed unless you have enough training experience to provide the dog with enough structure, leadership, guidance, and just experience in general. You know, accumulating these breeds, what it really comes down to is having enough experience to get ahead of the curve before it's too late. A lot of people get these dogs because they're big, they're powerful, they're impressive, and that's why I got a Boerboel, but I've been professionally working with dogs for 10 years and I've worked with a couple and knew what I was getting into, and I'm still overwhelmed by the dang thing. You know, you can't wait to train these strong breeds. The training with these guys starts immediately. At 8 weeks, I was training with this dog. And it's all about your relationship. It's about developing a temperament. It's about socialization. It's about really mastering the foundation obedience before they get 150 to 200 pounds and stubborn and protective and start running the show. That's where they go back to the shelter, or they end up in hands like mine. I was a professional behavior modification trainer. If you guys love dog training like me and you want to learn as much as you possibly can and you like this video, you can watch this uncut video plus all the other uncut videos that I've done in the past on the Tom Davis Online Academy. Plus, I go live every single week answering your dog training questions. All of the information and to join is listed in the link below. Last, but certainly not least, it's going to be number 5, the Malinois. Kidding, the Malinois, they are fun to work with, but like other the breeds that we talked about, they have a huge appetite for work and a bigger appetite for drive and to bite things. That's why they are given the nickname the Maligator. My friend and trainer Zach Burt would love that phrase. They love to put their mouths on absolutely everything to test your patience, but also just to bite things because they don't give a shit. These dogs are super easy to train, but really difficult to live with. Now, these dogs will make you look really great on the training field. Like as a dog trainer, they make you look awesome. Lakota is basically a Malinois. She's a Dutch Shepherd, very similar, but they will also be chewing on everything in your house in the meantime. Or your arms, your legs, your back, your hands. If you guys are interested in working with me in my 3-day transformation program right here at the Upstate Canine Academy, you can by clicking the link in the description below. Also, if you're a dog trainer or dog enthusiast or wanting to get into dog training and you want to come shadow me in this 3-day transformation program, you can also do that by clicking the information in the link in the description. You'll be constantly covered with teat marks, bruises, because they are constantly biting things. I was just working with a puppy the other day. I put my hand down to grab the leash. The dog came up and just hung onto my tricep. Like all the other breeds we talked about, getting one of these breeds is like getting the keys to a Ferrari. Quite literally. They're expensive, and if you don't know how to drive one of these things, it's gonna be dangerous. And the dangerous thing is with these dogs is then they go to the shelter and they're completely unadoptable, so it's literally a life sentence and then death, unfortunately. And so the difference is, guys, is when we're talking about picking the right breed for you, I actually kind of am trying to scare you away from these breeds because I don't want anybody inexperienced to get them for many reasons as I discussed. But there is a big difference between just in general, working dogs and pet dogs. Working dogs are dogs who are developed genetically to work, right? Again, Australian Shepherds, the Malinois, and even the Guardian breeds. And you should be doing your research on what your dog is supposed to be doing, right? So a pet dog is a dog that, like a golden retriever is a good pet dog. A field golden retriever, which is a working line of a golden retriever, is gonna be more drivey. They're gonna need more work. These are things that people don't understand. I tell people all the time, man, having a Boerboel is a great working dog because he is. He literally goes around my property all day long, making sure a leaf does not drop, and not up in here in our house can a leaf drop without him knowing about it. That's his work, right? So a pet dog is literally there to just cuddle with your family, to go on walks. A pet dog is literally developed just for you and your family to enjoy. Yes, they like training. Yes, they do dog stuff, but they don't have this innate drive to work. They don't wake up and go, I need to do this, right? Like a Border Collie or an Australian Shepherd, which are, a lot of very similarities there. They wake up and they want to go out and work. They want to chase, they want to herd, they want to work, they need to work. And what happens is people will get these dogs and put them into a pet home, like a beagle for a perfect example, or just a hound dog in general. There's many people out there that have hounds that have never stepped foot in a house. They live in a pen in the backyard, rain, sleet, snow, heat, etc. Right? They don't know what to do in a home. They would destroy it. They probably wouldn't do well. They would drive you crazy with the howling and the barking, and you go, oh my gosh, this dog is crazy. No bad dogs, right? I made this brand for a reason. You have to understand that the working dogs are dogs out there that are actually waking up every day with a job and a purpose because their genetic disposition tells them that. You need to do something. And then a pet dog is a dog that just wakes up and wants to sleep on the couch and could care less if they go for a walk or they go run or they go play chuck it or anything like that. So just know that there's a significant difference between pet dogs and working dogs. And if you get one of these working dogs and you don't put them to work, unfortunately, they will be a nightmare to live with. You will be at training. It'll cost a lot of money, potentially to the shelter or euthanasia because the dog is just not put in the right home. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope that it saves lives. I hope that it ends frustration. I hope that people who do get these dogs understand the responsibilities in order to keep these dogs safe. And more importantly, keep your neighbors, your family, the Amazon driver, the UPS guy, and yourself safe, because that's the last thing anybody would want with these large, powerful breeds. I've worked with them enough to understand in the wrong hands, they are a gigantic liability. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Again, I hope it was helpful. Consider subscribing to my channel, and we'll talk to you next time.